How many times have you driven through or past Frankston on your way to the Mornington Peninsula for a weekender? Did you stop here? Probably not. Depending on where you live though, a rural destination could be 2, maybe 3 hours drive away, so it starts to defeat the purpose of a relaxed short break. So here's a radical idea. Maybe Frankston is your next weekend getaway or day trip. Located less than 1 hour from Melbourne CBD, it's got 11 kilometres of coastline with some of Melbourne's best beaches and an emerging arts and entertainment scene. Frankston City has also been designated as a vital metropolitan activity centre, which is political speak for it's growing really quickly. So I'm here to discover if this place has enough to keep you occupied for a day or two. But this story doesn't start in Frankston. I'm a few k's down the road from Frankston at Seaford Pier, and I must have done some nasty shit in a previous life because karma is about to hit me. It's early morning, it's cold, no, it's freezing. And for my sins of a previous life, I'm about to go ocean water swimming with a community group that does this every day for fun. As the sun rises, a motley crew gathers at the foreshore to go ocean swimming together. Award-winning photographer Fiona Basil discovered this group during COVID and has since become a regular.
Well, the story really began back in COVID when we had those strict lockdowns. I decided one evening that I would go down the next morning to Seaford Pier, take my camera gear down and just for the joy of it, take some photos. As I walked out on the pier, I saw a group of swimmers heading out into the pole, and this was winter. It was freezing and I thought they were crazy. Yeah. When I got to the end of the pier, the swimmers were at the pole, a pod of dolphins swam by and it was so exhilarating. When I came back to the shore, I met the swimmers, I shared that video and the invitation was extended to come and join. Yep. And I thought, well, you know what? I think I could just about be crazy enough to join. And so that was the 4th of June in 2021 when I first dipped here in winter, and I haven't looked back since.
What are the formalities of your group? Like, what do you do?
The formalities? Well, probably the best thing about our group is that there are no formalities. It's very free. I think we are a group of people who come together because we love the ocean. We all gather, you know, maybe from around the 7 a.m. mark, and then we tend to walk down along the pier. So, you know, just check out the conditions on either side, see what's happening in the water.
Working out whether you really want to do it.
We always say, oh, it's going to be too cold, but we never regret a swim. We chat, we laugh, we try to solve the world's issues, and then we come back. Someone, I think, usually declares, right, let's do this.
Get in.
Let's do this.
Yep. Yep. Feeling it a little now. Is it exercise or community and socialisation that it's about?
I think it's different things for different people. I mean, certainly there is that exercise element and there are all of those physical benefits, but the beautiful thing is that it is the strong sense of community and friendship, and many of us would say that we wouldn't be here but for the community around us, because it would be very hard to get in the middle of winter on your own. Some people just dip and get wet, others do laps between the poles. It really just depends. But that's the beauty of the freedom and the group. Everyone's included and welcome.
This guy behind me is making me look soft because I've got hypothermia just standing here. What's some advice about not freezing to death in there?
Yeah, I think during winter in particular, it's really about knowing your limits. I mean, we don't stay in very long. It's keeping an eye out for each other. So it's really just knowing it is cold, don't stay out for too long. Get back in, get warm. Like I straight away will put my socks on, my beanie, get those extremities, put the gloves on, and then get dry and warm. And then of course the coffee. That's always an essential.
Coffee is always a winner.
It's a bold statement to claim Frankston and its surroundings should be a weekend or day trip destination. But it used to be. In the 1880s, when the train arrived, Frankston became a summer retreat for Melburnians. Swimming in Seaford Beach? I can understand why. Even now, it's got the relaxed, coastal vibe that makes you want to stop and decompress from the world.
You're a storyteller. That's why we get along, even though we've only just met. This experience for you has led to the creation of an award-winning, a gold medal winning in Tokyo, believe it or not, a coffee table book. Just explain to me how that process came to be.
Yeah, well, I think as I got to know the swimmers and we formed friendships, and I really came to understand some of the reasons of why these people are swimming and how significant the water has been in their lives. I sensed that this was something that I really wanted to capture and share, to capture those stories, to really celebrate them, and to release this beautiful photographic coffee table book. And it's a celebration of the beauty of the ocean, of our community, you know, our foibles. We're humans, we're not all perfect, we come and go, people get on each other's nerves, but I think the water is the great equalizer.
Early morning ocean swimming is not your typical holiday activity, but I know why the locals do it. They're not crazy. It's not madness. It's community. Ocean swimming has brought different people together and made Seaford stronger. But would I do it again? Absolutely. It's invigorating, awakening, immersive. When most people think of Frankston, they think about its past, and at times, that hasn't been pretty. But it's not what it was in the 90s, and it's not even what it was 10 years ago. This suburb has emerged into a contemporary urban experience. Who would have thought that Franger is home to one of Australia's most culturally significant art centres? Head of Programming at the Frankston Arts Centre, Heidi Irvine, believes there's a clear reason why this facility is world class.
It's so diverse. I think that we have an amazing theatre that we're sitting in right now, and you can see from the scope and the size of it, it's a pretty magnificent venue. We have 800 seats in our theatre. We are one of the largest theatres in southeast Victoria, so we have the ability to kind of bring in really, really small acts to really, really, really large shows. Today, the Paper Escaper was quite a small work, but the stage is so adaptable and it can be transformed in so many ways. The fact that the venue isn't just about the performing arts, we're also a really important venue in terms of functions and exhibitions, as well as our gallery spaces and also what we do for the community.
You mentioned there that the Arts Centre is one of the biggest spaces in Melbourne in terms of art centres.
Yeah.
Do you think Melburnians know that?
I think people who have been here know that. I think sometimes it's about finding Frankston and finding our place. It's not that far out of the city, and I think that once people discover the Frankston Arts Centre, they very quickly become a fan. We've just been celebrating this year our 30th birthday as a venue, which is, yeah, thank you. Don't look a day over 30. So it's really wonderful to be able to have really loyal and dedicated members, and a lot of our community come here as young people and do a show on our stage. You know, we meet them and they bring their kids here to a show like today.
What goes on in terms of your role to feature that show?
It's all about the audience. The audience always comes first. We curate a season of works, which is really considering our audience and really thinking about making sure there's a really strong diversity of work. So it's making sure that there's something for kids, something for families, something for the older generation, something for, mum and dad to come have a date night and you come together with your group of friends. And it's really important for us to make sure that we're not just presenting things for our audience that will, have a really great night out, but it's also to make them think or to make them to consider the world outside of our own. So.
I do a mad dad joke, but I've never performed publicly. Would I get a gig here?
Oh, listen, we could try. We can do an audition after. Comedy forms a big part of what we do here, and we're really lucky and we're really proud to sort of be a really great presenter of world-class comedy. And we've hosted the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Roadshow for years and years and years, and it's been a really wonderful stalwart of our programming every year to have amazing top-class comedians come through this venue.
Who are the big name performers that have been here?
Bit of everything. Hugh Jackman has performed on this stage years and years and years ago. We'd love to have him back.
Newly available, Hugh Jackman.
Yes, so Hugh, if you're watching, recently Jimmy Barnes came and sold out, I think within about 7 minutes. Vicar and Linda Bull, we have Circa, who are an amazing international circus company. Sydney Dance Company come to us every second year. It's a lot of names and a lot of really wonderful Australian artists.
We're in the 800-seat
Yes.
theatre at the moment. This is
Right.
only one thing that we can do here. What else can we do at the Arts Centre?
Absolutely. So if you're going to try out the dad jokes, maybe we warm up with like a smaller
I'd
audience.
sell this out in a second.
Yeah, but we do have a 200-seater, so you could try that. But we also have our function centres, and they're an amazing space that we transform everything from a wedding to a gala opening through to a conference or a dinner. So we also have our exhibition spaces. So we have a really strong reputation for visual arts in this community.
So I'm a newbie to town.
Great.
If I'm coming to a show here,
Yes.
before the show, after the show,
Yep.
what can I do in the general area in and around the Arts Centre?
Frankston just continues to have its glow up, and Frankston continues to just emerge into this really lovely destination. So we have amazing venues all around, but we also have some really great dining locations and some wonderful bars. Grab something in town, grab a meal, hang out with your friends, have a chat. There's lots of spaces to go. It's never a dull moment.
Ceylon Girls. The name often gets confused for a gentleman's club. While there is, unfortunately, a booming holiday industry accommodating that, you won't find it at this Sri Lankan restaurant. If you've got taste and class, Ceylon Girls is a great place to eat. Chef and owner Andrea Lord specialises in burger-style cooking, which is more unique to the Sri Lankan cuisine most of us know.
The Dutch, Portuguese, British, so they obviously intermarried Sri Lankans, and then the burgers were created. So our style of cooking is probably less spicier, same techniques and same spices and stuff, but it's slightly different in the cooking style. We reduce the heat but pack with flavor, you know? And you can taste, you can identify it straight away. Where for somebody who knows who's a burger, they walk in and say, oh, just like my grandma's cooking, you know, it takes me back home, things like that, because it's something different to what you will find in a normal Sri Lankan restaurant.
Yep.
And also it's the pairing that the burgers sort of have a style of pairing it. So if it's a yellow, fragrant yellow rice, we have to have the potato, the boiled egg and the pickles with it. So you can't just serve any curry with it. So it's a pairing is different as well. Something I want to try, the pan rolls.
Okay, bring them over. I'll give them a go, don't worry. You've instructed the kitchen, have you?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'll explain.
it's deep fried, so therefore
Yes.
it's a pretty strong start to me.
So this is a pan roll. It's a very thin crepe, then again like a pancake with a savory filling inside. So we slow cook our meat. The beef is slow cooked, mixed with a lot of veggies, potatoes, and make a filling. And it's wrapped, battered, and deep fried. So try some.
Okay, not going to be too hot?
No, it's not.
Okay, all right. And that's a tomato relish, is it?
That's a tomato sauce.
Yeah. That's great.
It's one of our very
I know,
popular items.
yeah, I know you call that an entree, but that's kind of a meal in itself.
Yes.
It's quite dense, but I mean, it's light and it's fresh, but it's lovely. How long have you been a business owner in Frankston?
I'd say about 8 years, because I owned a food truck before I opened this. Used to travel to all the festivals, markets.
You were voted the best 20 food trucks
2020
in Melbourne, were you?
Melbourne food trucks.
Yeah. How amazing is that?
5th place. Yeah, it was a bit of a
five,
surprise.
yeah.
Top 5, yeah.
So that was the instigator for you starting a restaurant, that you had success doing that and people liked what you were cooking?
Yes, when COVID happened, when all the events got cancelled, we lost the deposits. And then I got permission from the council to park my food truck in my driveway.
Really?
The driveway. I used to work full time. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll open up the food truck and we used to do our own deliveries. And it just took off like, wildfire. Couldn't keep up. And then we thought, all right, because the food truck is
You're onto
small,
something,
so
yeah.
I thought, okay, I need.
So did people take to your Sri Lankan cuisine instantly, or, okay, what happened there then?
I mean, when we obviously talking about 8 years ago, Sri Lankan cuisine was not that popular, I would say. Not everyone was aware of it. Because I remember we used to go to the Frankston Sunday market with the food truck. And I used to walk around and offer in all these samples. You want to try pan? I was like, oh no, we don't eat curry, we are vegan. I was like, hold on, you have to realize, we can make a curry even with a green mango or a pineapple. I think people have learned a lot along the way.
What you're doing is clearly working, because have a look at this place. There's no shortage of people in here for lunch. So that's a testament to the quality of produce and the cooking and the cuisine that you're doing, and you as a person as well.
Yes, that's right.
So Angela, you live in Frankston, you work in Frankston, your business here. What does the community mean to you?
A lot, because we do a lot for the community as well. Like we support the local, whether it's a foodie club or schools, we like to always get involved in every way we can. When we arrived from Sri Lanka, we first came to Frankston. I came with 3 little kids, and we just found Frankston so convenient. Everything is, you don't have to even drive sometimes, you just walk. After school activities, and the people are just so lovely, just friendly, always there for a helping hand, support. Very nice community.
There are people in Melbourne who would never consider coming to Frankston, whether to live or even just for a day trip. What are they missing out on?
There's so much to do in Frankston, just the Arts Centre alone, and it's just beautiful with the culture. Like I said, then so much to do. The beach is beautiful. It's nice place to live in.
There's no denying Frankston's landscape has been developing, but it hasn't lost its soul. Laneways, walls, and random infrastructure tell stories and make bold statements about politics and the human condition. Frankston is the first destination to be inducted into the Australian Street Art Awards Hall of Fame, and former tradie turned artist Trent Downie's work is part of it.
Straight out of, so at high school, I studied art strongly, and then I went to Chisholm, just over here in Frankston, did arts illustration there, and then once I finished that though, it was hard to get a full-time job, so I ended up just becoming a tradie, an electrician for 15 to 20 years, which put food on the table for the family and that, and then it was only probably about 6 or so years ago that I had enough of that, working for the man, moved down to the peninsula and just gave it a crack, I suppose, to do.
That's a massive change. So the artistic flair and creativity and skill must have come from somewhere though. So
yeah,
were you
I've always had
drawer?
it. Yep. When I was a kid, I'd just doodle and just do scribbles on diaries and all of that sort of stuff. I've always drawn, I've always loved it. It's been a massive passion. I must admit, when I did turn into a tradie or whatever, the fire sort of did dip, but then, I picked it back up, and it's the best thing I've ever done, so.
Nice. So tell me how you go from a design concept on a piece of paper to something on a wall like what we've got behind us.
My design starts off, just piecing it together, trying to find the correct colour scheme and all that sort of stuff. And once I've sort of got a design on an iPad or something like that, then I'll project it or superimpose it onto a wall and give them a view of what it's going to look like. The more work you do early is the less chance you have of something like that happening. But yeah, at the moment, I've got a 100% strike record, so it's going okay.
Let's keep that up. So in terms of keeping it on the wall though, like what sort of materials do you use?
Pretty much all my murals involve just external house paints. And then aerosol cans, and then I put a sealer over the top of it all just to try and keep the colours in and give it as long a life as I can.
Frankston as a community has been very proactive in building and promoting its art scene. Why do you think that is?
I guess that it's a priority for them. In this council, they do have great funding towards it. Their street art tours have won many awards, so they have a real passion for it. Well, when I was doing the Frankston Street Art Festival, it was amazing the amount of people that came through and had an interest in just the artworks itself, and it ranged from every age group, from sort of 10-year-old kids to 80-year-old, and they just have a desire for it. Some of the artworks are absolutely amazing, so why wouldn't they?
Absolutely. And what's the best way to see it as a newbie?
There's artworks in every alleyway through Frankston, so you can either just go for a casual walk through and you'll find some fantastic artworks, or you can join the street art tours. They've won many awards for the best in Australia, so I'm very fortunate to be included in that, and it's very humbling because right next to me there's some of the biggest sort of names in art worldwide.
You're probably thinking Trent's design behind us is interesting, right? Well, that's not his. Trent's work oversees a car park and finding a safe interview space among afternoon shoppers was impossible. So we stood in this laneway to chat and, well, we nearly got run over here too. It's a weekend away, and that means you can enjoy yourself. It might not be a wellness influencer's first choice, but Southern-style American barbecue is pure indulgence food. And Red Gum Barbecue Pit Stop does it very well. For pitmaster and co-owner Martin Goffin, barbecue is serious business.
What I first like to do with a brisket is get this point muscle and trim that down, right? Because I'm trying to create a brisket that's even in shape and size so it cooks evenly. You can see how it kind of goes from like fatter to skinny. And what I'm going to try and do is try and make it the kind of consistent throughout.
So what would happen if you just took it out of the packet and put it in the smoker without doing all the trimming?
You'll get bits that are like dried out. You won't get
So
consistent.
the thinner bits are overcooked.
But what I'm trying to do here is actually create the perfect slice so it's consistent throughout the brisket.
So this is everything that you learn by becoming a professional pitmaster.
When I first started cooking barbecue, right, in Australia, there was no low and slow barbecue cookbooks. I used to get cookbooks sent over by my mother-in-law, like to ship them to me, and I'd read them, and that's kind of how I picked it up, probably about 20 years ago. But all my barbecue influences comes from the East Coast, the US anyways. So you do it from a little bit of a height, right? So you get a really even coating of your S&P. So it's just salt and pepper, man. It would leave this in the old cold room overnight, so it has a little bit of a dry brining effect. So salt goes in, draws out moisture, creates a nice salty solution, then it goes back in.
For those of you yelling at the screen saying Red Gum Pit Stop isn't in Frankston, you're correct. I'm in Seaford. Again.
This is the end product of your labour of love, right? Thank you.
That's your baby back ribs, man. It's got a Kansas City style sauce on it.
Right, what makes it Kansas City style sauce?
It's tomatoes, sweet molassesy, tart from vinegar. See this sauce here on your chicken? That's an Alabama white sauce. It's a mayonnaise-based sauce.
Right.
On your pulled pork, this has a vinegar-based sauce through it. So it's like a more a bit sharper Lexington dip kind of style. Pickles and barbecue are mates. Coleslaw bar barbecue and mates.
Now, this is your world famous mac and cheese.
Yeah.
There's a story behind that. What is that story?
So I went and worked in America. First things I did in the kitchen in the barbecue joint there was make their mac and cheese, and this is pretty much the same recipe.
Right, okay.
So it's been with me, crikey, a long time now, this mac and cheese.
So you would never consider changing the recipe?
No, man. Like a typical, you make a roux, butter, flour, milk, add your cheese. But this is purely just cheese.
I can tell.
Cheese and milk and cream, and that's about it.
How do you eat this style of food with grace and sophistication? You don't. You just get stuck in by any means necessary.
So you need to go in with your hands. So grab yourself a pork rib.
Get straight in it, hey?
Just get straight stuck in. Your pork rib, right, is your gateway to barbecue, I feel. Like it's a thing that gets you hooked.
There's a deep smoke to that. It's just it's rich and lovely. I understand you loving this food.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new level to want to do it on the other side of the world and turn it into a business.
Yeah.
So how did it go down that path for you?
I loved the food when I went to the US, and one of the things that I couldn't get when I came back to Australia was good barbecue food, well, because there wasn't any. So I just started cooking it in my back garden for myself. And I suppose that kind of just evolved into, it becoming a hobby, and then something I did all the time. And eventually just one day I was sitting watching the telly, and I was watching a show that had barbecue in it. And I just thought to myself, I could do that. Zero hospitality experience, zero small business experience. I worked in local government. So I spoke to my wife and I said, I want to start a barbecue joint. And she thought it was a great idea.
Your life savings went into this idea too.
Yeah. But whatever money we did have went into buying a smoker, getting a trailer, and I just went to markets and events.
Yeah.
And I just sold barbecue on a tiny little smoker. Yeah. And eventually it just continued to grow and evolve to the point where it was like, if you want to continue to do this, you're going to have to go bricks and mortar.
How are you being received down here by your customer base and the Seaford Frankston community?
Yeah, great. We really like to, support local community. we're a B Corp business, so part of the things that we do is measured around, you know, our impact on community. People non-stop have said, I'm so excited the fact that I don't have to go to Red Hill now to go get your barbecue.
I imagine for you this is like choosing your favourite child, but
If I had to,
yeah.
well, your first love is your pork rib, but then, I don't know, I'm a sucker for chicken. Once you've brined it and you smoked it, it goes from something that has historically been overcooked, and suddenly it's elevated into the realms of one of the best things that you've ever eaten in your life.
Is there something unique to this place that should see more Melburnians come here?
It's so close to the beach, and the beach down in Frankston is fantastic for kids. Like, it's shallow, the water goes out forever, it's nice and sandy, not overly crowded. The businesses that you know from the city are moving down to Frankston because it's just, you know, you've got the population down here in terms of people being able to kind of have that desire to do really fun activities. Like, there's demand there.
Am I seriously suggesting you go to Frankston over the Mornington Peninsula, the Surf Coast, or even Gippsland? No. Those places are great and they offer you plenty. But sometimes packing the suitcase in the car, wrangling the kids, loading up on overpriced petrol and driving a few hours just to unwind before doing all of that again in reverse just adds to your stress. It doesn't take much for most people to decompress. The beach, arts and culture, a vibrant restaurant and entertainment scene, all of that can be found much closer to home. Frankston is now on the cultural, artistic and gastronomic radar, and it deserves your attention, if only for a day.